The Artificial Podcast Shorts.
But I really had to take a step back and think about, well, why have I formed such a curiosity with what we're calling addiction to outrage? And really, I'm just looking back at the last year. I know this has been going on for much longer than that, but I'm really just looking back to the last year. And of course, my reference point is in the United States, but our entire last election cycle and everything that happened with the coronavirus under our former president, that is just when it really hit me how bad this has really gotten. And on top of that, it brought a new, I guess, a newer awareness as to how much major media outlets use social media to post articles with headlines deliberately tailored for clickbait that incite outrage.
So in the defense of the media, because I am in the media quite a lot. This is gonna sound a bit peculiar. The media aren't, at least in Australia, the media aren't looking to particularly feed that doom cycle, but our brains are pretty hardwired for, our amygdalas are looking for danger.
Yeah.
And so because our amygdalas are overactive and looking for danger, we follow this doom cycle and this doom scrolling, and it just constantly feeds our fear and our mechanisms in our brain that are designed to keep us safe. You know, all of that was designed in our brain, which are brilliant, but it was designed to keep us safe from, like, saber-toothed tigers. And really how that's evolved is, well, have you met the internet? So, and so, it's this perpetual feedback loop where we are, as much as users, consumers, feeding into the doom cycle or doom news as we are receiving it.
Yeah. Which, that's a very good point that you bring in. I guess I should... I really wasn't trying to point a stiff finger at media outlets. I guess where I was getting with that is, I guess just seeing how angry people constantly were on social media and always tended to be in the comments section, which you've always told me never to go into the comments section, but I can't help myself. Always seem to be in the comments section of Facebook or Twitter, and it's usually always under news media articles.
Absolutely.
Always under news media articles. So that's what I was alluding to with that, where it just generated a newer awareness for me as maybe a potential part of what is leading to this increase in outrage addiction. So I think my realization for this was a couple of elections ago, where in Australia, where we have this particular woman who's not very lovely, and she particularly Pauline Hanson.
Yes, that one. So she has a tendency to hook into whoever is the hated group of the week. And so in the 80s, 90s, it was the Asians, the Asian invasion. Australia was being invaded by Asians, and, they were a scourge on society. And, when the election came around again, where she was re-entering politics, it was then the Muslims, because and it was her entry speech into Parliament was the identical speech that she gave in the 90s. She literally just swapped out Asian for Muslim.
My gosh.
So there was this real, for me, there was this real experience of how did this happen? and B, how am I so closed off with my society that 10% of Australians voted for her? And I get that people are disenfranchised. I get that there are people who are not necessarily racist, but they're frustrated and fatigued. But also we have a tendency to shut down people in their conversation and not allow for that evolution of thought, especially online.
Hey there, artificial podcasters. Nick Myers here, just to say don't forget to smash the subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our latest episodes and new content. You can also listen to full episodes of the Artificial Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Anchor.fm. If you or someone you know is interested in being a guest on the show, visit us on the web at www.theartificialpodcast.com. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.